Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be starting episode 2 of our How to Make a Simulator series. In the last episode, we were working on the coin clicked system as well as the UI to display our coins. In today's video, we will be going over the rebirth system. Before this video starts, I just want to make sure that you guys know that I do have a Discord server that I created recently where all the new developers, you guys who watch my channel, you guys can go and there will be channels for you guys to either make video suggestions, just to chat, or you can get video help from me as well as other players. If you guys are interested, I will have a link in the description. So let's continue with the video. Alright, so I know in the last video that we created remote events. We only have one and it's called coin clicked. But in today's video, we're going to remove our remote events, sadly. The remote events, I realized it was messing with the rebirth system. So basically, one thing I noticed is that when you try to change the value of the player's coins through, like if you go into our player and then I will show you right now. So if I go into the player, go into leader stats and give myself 500 coins, if I begin to click, it goes back to 1. I'm not 100% with the idea or the point or why this happens, excuse me, but I did realize that it had a reason to do with remote events. I'm just assuming that the server does not know what the value of your coins are. I don't know why I decided to change the value of the coins in the server. We should be changing it in the actual coin here instead of just firing the server. So quickly, we're going to remove this line, coin clicked fire server, remove these variables here so we don't get an error in the output. We're going to head over to coin handler and you're going to copy this line, hit Control X or Control C to copy it, go back over to our script and insert it. We're also going to create another variable, local player equals game.players.local player. This will find our local player, which using your local script, it allows you to just get the local player, which means you or the player in the game. It's just the local player. Local in terms of scripting means, I guess you could say like a system. So here, when you're in Studio, you're able to edit you're basically editing the server, I guess. There's some things like using the starter pack and the starter UI to insert things into the player, but everything you add in here is going to be on the server. Local just means client-sided, which means just the local player. Since this will be in the player, it'll know what you're talking about. So now that we have that, we shouldn't have any errors. If we go to data handler, not coin handler, you can actually go ahead and remove this script, go over to data store, and underneath this line here, we're going to create, we're going to set the value of rebirths to 1. I realized that this was kind of an issue with our rebirth system. If we start at 0, it wouldn't be good. And if you've already tested your game and you change this, you're going to have to edit your key. So I'll just change it. You will be changing the data key a lot, so do not make a final decision just yet. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to insert a text button into our GUI, and you're going to place it under our coins button like this, or our coins text label like this. I'm just going to insert our roundify image into the object, and it should automatically size it correctly change the index of the text button to 2 in the properties, and it'll bring it up forward towards you. Go and change the border size pixel to 0 so we don't have that black line, and we're going to edit the color. I'm just going to make it a nice orange/yellow color. I'm going to copy that color code, go down to image color in our roundify image, and paste that in. Oh wait, yes. After you paste it in, you can go here and slide the slider down to darken the color, so it gives it a nice little highlight. We're also going to edit the text so it would resemble our coins text. I'm going to change this text stroke transparency to 0, change it to text scaled, change the text color to white, and change the font to source sans bold. Of course, you can make this whatever you want, but I'm just going to edit it how I like it, and we're going to name this Rebirth. I'm actually going to change the text stroke transparency to 0 on here as well, and I'm just going to edit this. Okay, and one thing we're going to have to do in the coin display is, one thing I noticed is I forgot. We copy this line here, which displays our coins, and paste it up here. This was just displaying only the coin value and not the coin's text when you joined into game, so it was a little annoying. But now that we have that fixed, we have our button. I'm just going to name this Rebirth Open. Okay, and then the next thing you're going to want to do is we're going to insert a Rebirth frame. Oh, we're not. You don't search frame. Okay. Insert a frame into your UI, and I'm just going to place it right here next to the coin and Rebirth text buttons things that we have set up. I'm going to name this Rebirth frame, and I'm just going to name it or change the color to the same colors as our things here. Why is this not changing? Okay. And then I'm going to use our Roundify plugin. Just gonna, if this happens to you, you can just drag it a little bit and it'll pop out like this, and then you can place it. So I'm just going to set it to 6, put his border, click Roundify, and then we're going to change the index of the frame to 2. Change the Roundify color to match our button, and now we have a little Rebirth frame set up. We're going to insert 2 more buttons to make it easier. I'm just going to copy our Rebirth button. Go ahead, and I'm just going to stretch this out a bit. I'm going to place it there, put it in the middle, and I'm going to make this button white. Before we do that, change the index to 4 and change the Roundify image label to 3. We're going to change the Rebirth button, or not the Rebirth button, our button that we just inserted into our frame to white. Do the same for the back, and you can name this button. We're going to insert another button, or you can just hit Control-C and Control-V to copy and paste. Excuse me. And I'm going to put it up in the corner like this. Resize it to be kind of a square. And I'm going to change the color of this to a nice red. Change the Roundify image label, darken it. And now we have a close button. Just going to square it out more. Just put it on the corner. Okay. And I'm just going to put an X. It could be a capital X or a lowercase x. I'm just going to make a capital so it's a little even. And now that we have that, you can just name this close button. And all we have to do is just insert some text labels. So again, I'm going to copy our coin display label insert it into our frame. Make sure that you change this index to 4 for the text label, 3 for the roundify thing, and delete the local script. Make sure you do not keep the local script inside since we don't want our text to change. I'm actually going to delete the roundify since we don't need that either. So I'm going to put this in the middle, change the background transparency to 1, and name this rebirth, or make the text rebirth. You can just name this title, which would just be the title of our, just showing us that we're in the rebirth thing. Alright, one thing I'm going to do is just edit this button. You want it to have it a little long, just so it looks nice. And our button's going to display some messages. If we have enough, or if we don't have enough money, it will say you don't have enough money. So we're going to use the button for that, and we need space. So also make sure that the button is on text scaled as well. We're going to copy and paste the title, and we're going to stretch out this, and this is going to be the bio. So make sure you go and name it bio, and we're just going to type a little example. We're going to put amount of coins needed to rebirth. So this is going to display the amount of coins you need to rebirth. Alright, we're going to insert some local scripts into our button as well as our rebirth frame. So inside our rebirth button, we are going to type, alright, we're going to type some variables. So we're going to make a button variable to represent script.parent, which means our rebirth open button right here. And then we're going to create a frame variable, which is going to represent the rebirth frame so that we can easily code it in, so we don't have to do all this extra script.parent when we're actually opening the frame. So after that, we're just going to do button.mouse button, mouse button 1 click, connect function, and then hit enter. Make sure that you have the end here with the closing parenthesis on the edge. So this is going to fire once we click our button with the left click. That's what the 1 is. You can do 2 click. And there's also other mouse actions that you can like search up on the wiki if you want to learn how to do that. I'm just going to open this up, and we're going to do if frame.visible equals false. Then visible is a property inside of frames as well as buttons and text labels, almost everything that you can put in a GUI, and it basically is if it's visible or not. So we're actually going to check that off so that it isn't visible. As you can see, visible, non-visible. So we're checking if the visible is false, which means that it's not visible. Scooch down, and we're gonna write else if frame not visible equals true. Then, and now we have if you put an if after else if, it's just saying that if this is not true, and then it's like, oh, it's not true. Oh, and then it's gonna say, oh, is it this? Oh wait, this is actually visible. So yeah, so if this is not correct, it'll check if this is a thing, which it only can be either one. So that's just the precaution. And then we're just gonna set it to the opposite. So visible, or frame not visible equals true, and then frame not visible equals false. So now that we have that, our button should be working. If we just jump into game real quick, we should be able to just open and close. Why is it not working? Okay, so apparently I know I didn't type anything wrong. Oh, okay, so I put it in the wrong script. I put in the rebirth frame instead of our rebirth open, so this will just be open script. Just so I don't get confused, and we'll just name this handler. Okay, sorry about that. Just make sure you put in the right script. Alright, we're gonna head it back into game, and it should be working. Alright, And we're also going to code that into the X button. So you can just go over here to our close button, copy and paste this script into there, but erase this if statement and change the frame to just script.parent.parent. And then we're just going to set the frame's visible property to false. So every time that button is clicked, it just will change the visibility. So this works, it opens, and this closes it. So now that we have that, we're actually going to script the rebirth system, which is not as hard as some people think it is. It's actually very easy. So we're going to go over to our handler script. We're going to make some variables. So we're going to go local bio equals script.parent.bio, which I'm going to try to explain everything as in detail as I can, because some of you get a little confused. I don't really have like a basic scripting video out. Make sure this is capitalized. But a variable basically allows you to set a name, or I don't think you can set numbers. I think it's just name. Yeah. So any like text, it could be a name, hello, anything you want to represent something. So it can be an object by doing script.parent.bio, which means we're going from this to script.parent, which is the parent of the script is rebirth frame, down to our bio. So that's a thing. We actually we can put wait for a child, like that. So it's just going to wait, so we don't get any errors. So we're also going to make another variable for our button. Do the same thing, script.parent wait for a child button. Local player equals game.player local player. So again, we're making the player variable, so we're getting our local player, so we know what to do. And then for the bio.text, we're going to do coins needed, or actually amount of coins needed for rebirth. You're going to put the little semicolon, do a space, and then another speech mark, do a space with 2 periods, 2 dots, and then we're going to do player.leaderstats.rebirth.value times 100. Change this value to however much you want it to be multiplied by. So if that's why we want to start with 1. If we started with 0, then it would obviously be 0, because 0 times 0 is 0. So we would just be able to rebirth for free, like off the bat. So if we set it to 1, then we need 125 coins to rebirth. But you can change it to whatever your number you want. Now we're going to create a function, player.leaderstats.coins, and we're going to use get property changed signal, which is looking for a change in the value of coins. So this is going to fire whenever this or whenever the coins is changed. I've already explained that dot changed, which if you may or may not have used, just checks to see if any property of the coins is changed. So it could be name, it could be the color. So we just want it to only change when the value changes. So then we're actually, you can just go ahead and copy this and paste it into here. We're going to create another function. Yes, you can have multiple functions in one script. Button.mouse button 1 click connect function. So this function is going to fire when we left click our button. We're going to check if the player.leaderstats.coin.value, our if statement is just saying, like, obviously if this value is greater than or equal to player.leaderstats player.rebirth.value times 125, or the number you have for the amount of coins you need to rebirth. Then we're going to do player.leaderstats.rebirths.value equals player.leaderstats.rebirths.value plus 1. Player.leaderstats.coins.value equals 0. So here, we're changing the value of rebirth, which if you're going to do a plus, a minus, or a multiplication, you have to write it 2 times. So this value equals this value plus 1. You can't just do player.rebirth.value equals plus 1, because plus 1, it just doesn't work. See, if you just want to set it to a value and it will be that value every single time, you just write the value. But we want to set the value to the value that we currently have plus 1. So we're also going to do something else. We're going to do else. Else we're going to do player.leaderstats.coins.value. Oh wait, no, we're doing it wrong. Okay, I forgot we're not doing the else if. So else button dot text equals not enough coins. All right, so this is going to fire. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. So the if, it's checking if the coins.value is higher than or equal to this value, meaning that you could have more coins or you can have equal. Then player.leaderstats.rebirths.value equals player.leaderstats.rebirths.value plus 1. So we're changing it up 1. Then we're setting our coins value to 0, so it's resetting their coins. Else, if this is not true, we're going to display not enough coins on the button. So then we're going to do a wait for 2 seconds, and then button.text equals rebirth. I'm just going to add a little exclamation point to make it nice and fun. So if I am correct, this should be the last that we need to do for today's tutorial. So we have, let's go. So yes, we need 125 coins. I'm not going to let you guys sit here all day. So removing the remote event should have fixed this problem. See if we tap. Okay, now we have 128. We will rebirth, and our rebirth will be 2. Oh, and I just remembered we have one more thing to do. So our rebirth is going to change the amount your coins go up. You can either do player, and then you could do plus 1 times using shift 8 to make the little times, the little star, times player.leaderstats.coins or rebirths.value. This will just make it so that, like, if you have I guess your rebirths would just be the amount of money they get. So if you want to do it this way, so if we have 2 rebirths, we'd get $2 because it's 1 times our value here. So it's always just going to be whatever this value is. So yeah, you won't get that much. But if you want to do a plus, then you can do that. You can change this number, whatever you guys want to do. But I'm just going to leave it 1. So it's just replayable. So the idea of the game, even though this sounds kind of mean, we want players to continue to play the game. So I'm gonna change my coins to there. All right, now we should get that. Okay, and then we just keep going up. We can change our rebirths to 123, you know. But the thing is no matter how many rebirths you have, you always need to click and use, or you have to click many times before you're able to rebirth again. So one thing you might want to consider, since depending on what your game is going to be like, if you want them to have like rebirths as a currency, you want to be able to obtain rebirths very quickly. So I could recommend changing the value in the rebirth frame to like times 1000, so it'll be really difficult for, or like it's something that the player will do at the end, or like after they've gotten many coins and many upgrades. So as you can see, we need 1000 rebirth. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And I guess that just wraps up today's tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this video is 26 minutes long. Well, at the time of this recording, there may be cuts, or yeah. So, again, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. I'm so happy you guys are liking my recent videos. I've been getting a lot of love. Make sure you guys join the Discord server. I'll be on there very actively saying hi to all of you, and I know many of you guys have been wanting this tutorial because a lot of you keep messaging me. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.